Lucky Podcast. Happy Saturday to everybody. Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And let me tell you something. If you're going to drink and have a great weekend with all of this beautiful weather, we're sitting in the 60s left up here in Chicago. You have to make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it, Left. Lucky Podcast. MALIK, ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty, the other way. Sean Davis, SD2 mics, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Subscribe on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Network. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. We've got some news breaking next week. We'll be happy to share it with you when it's finalized. We're going to talk about a lot today. First practice in a few days, March 19th. Talk about why March 21st is one of the most important practice and visit days for the future. Not the immediate future in the class of 2026. But class of 2027, and I am going to allow Left to view the top 3 quarterbacks on the board for Notre Dame in the class of 2027. Right now, 2 of those quarterbacks will be on campus March 21st, along with a star-studded group of 2027. I love it. Notre Dame is, man, they're bringing all of the top-rated 27 kids in on the same day to set the foundation, get them to come back for Irish Invasion, and then start locking them up. It's a great plan. Love it. All that complaining that was happening in Notre Dame Nation, I'm looking here. I got 51 names left, 51 names with spring or summer visits. And there's some names that I'm still waiting for dates. Remember all that panic. Oh, Chad is doing this. Clemson is doing that. Yep. Went over my list this morning. We're up to about 51, my brother. 51. And climbing. Broke some news. Pretty good. Broke some news. South Garner teammates. I put it over on the message board, irishbreakdown.com. Ikine Agboko. And also Ebenezer Utade. Ebenezer was here for the junior day, January 24th. He will be back and will be accompanying his teammate, 4-star offensive tackle, Ikine Agboko. They'll be back April the 5th, and then they'll both return June 20th for an official. So they'll be back for an unofficial April the 5th, and then they'll come back for their official on June 20th. Notre Dame has a chance to land 2 talented teammates from South Garner High School in Durham, North Carolina. They're also after, top 50 defensive end Rodney Dunham out of Durham, North Carolina. Fantastic, bro. Fantastic. That's why I said relax. Notre Dame fans, relax. Relax. They just made a new offer to a kid. Reportedly, he goes to the same school as Jeremiah Smith down in Florida.
Okay, we're getting close to the 5.
Denarius Gray, wide receiver from Chaminade. Chaminade puts out some pretty good players, bro. That's a historic program down there in Florida. So
that's right. That's right. But listen, as long as we in the right frame of mind, we in the right spot, I think we're gonna be good, man. Honestly, I think the thing that we have to do on our end, more so than anything, is win games. We gotta win the games. Because if we win the games, then the recruiting makes sense. Why is Syracuse going to be better next year? Because guess what? Kyle McCord and them boys won games.
Facts.
They're going to be better next year because of the recruiting that they have been, for who they are and what they're doing, been pretty good. But for us, We've been to the mountaintops. We've been there, done that. We've had the top players. We've developed guys. So it's not about capturing those 5 stars. We've been there doing it the way Marcus Freeman has showed the way to do it. However, finishing the job is about tweaking this and that about the process we already have. The 5-star conversation was done 2 years ago for me. That's why I think the moves that we've taken on getting on that GM, getting on that defensive coordinator, how he thinks about things, having guys come in with merit and come in with NFL experience, especially in the personnel department, speaks highly to what we're trying to transform into as the new way of winning football. You see in the college football landscape still, everybody's trying to enlarge the cap, get the money right, trying to be able to spend more money, raise more money. But for us, it's all about developing in-house the process of what we're doing. We know we're going to have some money that's going to happen in general. But for us, the biggest thing is who's fitting the team and how can we develop them in a room full of talent, because we're looking for role players at this point. Even though we don't have 5 stars, bona fide first-day players, we got some that could possibly, but there's a maturing process you got to go through. But the room itself is talented. Even the receiver room now is talented. It just has to be put on display. But you got to find a right fit of guys to be able to come in and fit that role. They got to come in and be able to do that, because that way, then you can have those Jeremiah Smith numbers and pop out. You can be like the guys that you see that get through Notre Dame and then have a high draft grade, right? You playing your role.
So once again, we're going to talk about those 3 young men. But before we get to that and talk about some more of the recruiting, some of the visits that have been added recently, we'll give you updates on the list of 26 guys, give you some dates to get you kind of calmed down about Notre Dame and the recruitment. I agree. I said I need to see 5 receivers, at least 5, bro, 3 to 5, because you're only going to take maybe 2 to 3. Right, so it's a small class as of right now. If some things happen, if some people hop into the portal after the blue and gold game, and something else I noticed, Left. Once the blue and gold game is done, Notre Dame usually doesn't have time to really continue to work on the class. The window is cut, no contact. You can't have camps on campus. So you have Irish Invasion in June, and then the window for official visits opens up. This year, by having the blue and gold game April 12th, Notre Dame will have another 2 to 3 weeks to recruit after the blue and gold game, which is a little bit more time going into that dead period right before the official visit season. So I think they are strategically doing some things that are very smart, in my opinion. The pro day is April 27th. So it's going to be very exciting to see them there. I talked to a couple of 27 kids. They're excited to all be showing up at the same time, because they didn't even know they all were coming in on March 21st. So they're excited to be coming in. So Notre Dame, Mike Martin, Carter Allman, and the rest of that staff, I said, let them cook. Let them cook. Let them build relationships. Zach Fort decommitted recently, safety. He's planning to come March 29th. That's a 26 kid. Mike Mickens doing his thing. And that's another commit that I'm forgetting about. Jordan Deck. Jordan Deck is another. Jordan Deck decommitted. I'm sorry, from Texas A&M. He's looking to visit. And then Zach Fort is committed. And he'll still be coming in to visit March 29th. So Notre Dame has become the hunted. Like I said, they're in transition. That's why you see Chad Bowden out there running the chase game out of USC. Let's get everybody early, make all these promises early, and hold on. He did it at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is no longer in that place. No longer in that place. A little bit of transition with new staff coming in that got put behind. don't know if March 17th on Monday is going to be Notre Dame's day like it was under Chad, or if they do it differently. We'll wait and see. But I do realize now that these official visits and unofficial visits are really stacking up. Before we get to the rest of that, and I have my top 26 guys must get. My top 5 must gets in the 25 class. And I'm going to tell you right now, none of them are wide receivers.
Yep.
None of them are wide receivers. Not must gets. None of them are wide receivers. But I have probably, if I did it to top 10, I would probably have 2 of the wide receivers in my top 10. So let's get to 11. Mike DENBROCK's offense in 2025. He finally has some quarterbacks that can probably unveil and allow his offense to fully blossom. You before have given the notebook. You literally still have your notebook from the time that Mike DENBROCK was your offensive coordinator. What do you see? Will the offense be different based upon the starting quarterback that wins the actual competition? Or do you think the offense pretty much would be similar with a little bit of nuance to kind of emphasize certain things that each quarterback can do? But at the core, it's going to be the same offense in 2025.
Yeah, I think there's a core element that DENBROCK wants to keep within the offense, but if he's smart, which I think he and believe and know he is to be, he should be catering to the guys' strengths of whoever starts. Like all 3 guys have different strengths, which I think you keep the core fundamentals of what you want to do as an offensive caller, but you're gearing calls based on the strengths of a player. Like Kenny may have a little bit more freedom and flexibility to be outside the pocket or to do some things off of play action or to run the football, where CJ is maybe more catered to throwing the ball outside the hashes or throwing the ball across the field or making some deeper throws, stuff that we probably haven't seen as consistently. So, and then Steve, we've seen glimpses of what the offense could look like with Steve being a more balanced focus. But I think the core of the offense is still going to be a heavy involvement in the run game, especially with offensive line that we know is going to be superb, but still's probably got to work out some things as a unit when the live bullets happen, because there's been some rearranging through the time. So I think having a run game be so effective and we believe in it so much, that's going to be a nice constant factor to keep all these quarterbacks stable. And then it's just the different play calls that you look to highlight. Each quarterback's strengths will be different, but that's only like 10 or 15 plays in a playbook on a game call sheet where you're like, okay, he's good at these things specifically, where we know he can be most productive. So I think for DENBROCK this year particularly, he's got a good amount of problems on his hands instead of trying to find things to fit a guy who can't necessarily do all the things well enough to just have some of the important things DENBROCK wants to put in himself. I think we'll see more of what DENBROCK and who he is as a play caller this year as opposed to last year.
When you say that, are you talking about plays or more so about the evolution of different formations? Primarily a 12 personnel team last year was Notre Dame. So do you still expect the 12 personnel to be the primary formation, or do you like 11 personnel more when you talk about what these quarterbacks can do as far as the passing game?
Based on DENBROCK being more of who he is, I mean, he had 2 first-round receivers, so you can probably expect more of an 11 personnel, maybe even more 10. I know when he first came in, he wanted to do that early on because he wanted to run the ball with efficiency and not just lean on the run as a volume perspective. So he believes in having light boxes and doing that, having the tight end detached or having a smaller player in there for personnel issues and reasons. So I really believe that we'll see more of 10 and 11 than 12. And that's really depending on who's throwing the football. If we find consistency from each quarterback or one over the other where we can have a balance or even have a 60-40 pass, I think that's where DENBROCK really wants to exist. And that's really dependent on the talent. Now, the talent he had when he was operating at a high level won the Heisman. So we're not saying our quarterback has to win the Heisman, but we are saying that if he is capable from a talent perspective, he can really have a good year under DENBROCK, regardless of it being his first year. It's still credited in the sense of what's going on, what he likes. And now it's just about finding that chemistry on calling the things that you feel comfortable to be more successful with. And I think he was getting a hint of that during the spring before I think he just got totally thrown off his process when you insert a guy and do him how you did Riley Leonard. But now I think this is more in the control of DENBROCK to guide this offense the way he probably saw it coming in. And of course, he was at one point a tight end coach himself, so I don't think he's ever going to neglect those tight ends, but I think he sees the strength of the team being outside the hashes and in the slot with these young, fast players that we have. And all it takes is just to see the refreshment of our offense look different from last year. And we're just talking 3,000 yards, man. DENBROCK's probably like 35, 37 for a first-year guy, but he's probably like itching at the bit to be like, I got all these pass concepts, I got these things, I want to be able to run this year to balance our run and be more explosive, because I think he understands that the offense has to lead from the forefront, in particular this year, just because of turnover and guys trying to catch the swing of things and the defense, losing some key guys that were leaders, not only good players, and you're still young, regardless of what they played last year, you're still young from a linebacker standpoint and from a secondary. So with new guys that you're trying to figure out popping up and who's going to be who defensively, offensively, it's pretty much the same. I mean, we feel better about our O-line this year than last year with all the losses that we had and the shuffling and the news and all those things. Quarterback's the biggest issue, but still the guys on the team know who the quarterbacks are. This isn't a guy coming out of the woodworks or a guy they don't know about or a guy transferring in. No, we caught the ball from this guy. We know what he sounds like, know how he moves every day. So it's an easier situation for DENBROCK to push the offense in the forefront. And that's what this is about. And that's what I think we believe the changes are needed to actually win it and not get to it, because we can get to it using the way we did last year, just very, very strong defense. We got lucky in some spots from a scheduling perspective, but also we were lucky to have such great players develop the way they did to where it'd be like for the secondary, it became a factory in a sense. Guys repeat. Thanks to Coach Mickens, thanks to those leaders before, but you need some of that. And offensively, we want to see that happen. We want to see the receiver room become what the DBs became, because the DBs were worse than the receiver room at a point. Receiver room's always been kind of constant, but DBs were at a worse than the receiver room from a perspective, and we want change, so to speak. So if the DBs can do it, they talk about fake DVU now, it's crazy. Now we're talking about can the offensive side do it, and I think it's a great opportunity for this year for it to happen.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So let's go ahead and handicap this quarterback competition. Left. I'm going to say something. I'm going to give a statement, and I want you to finish it. Steve Angeli will win the quarterback competition if.
I think Steve Angeli has to show something different than what he is known and looked up to now. Remember, he's the air mattress, so he's good or reliable. You can take him out in any environment. He's going to get you through the night. Not going to sleep probably too much in comfort, but you're going to sleep. It's not the plush pillows and the heated mattress with the foldable mechanics in it. And but it's gonna get you through the night, and you might have to, boost it up in the middle of the night because it might lose some steam, might lose some air, throw a couple picks, But if you put the nice blanket down, right, you got a frame for it. You know what I'm saying? You got a nightstand, a nice little lamp. You got your fan going. You can turn that into a reasonable night. So I think for Steve, he can win it if he just gives us more wow moments. I don't think it's necessarily a leadership thing because he has the respect, but he's got to show like, okay, maybe not throw better than the guys that are just naturally talented throwing better, but he's got to make some plays where it's like, okay, that's too good. His veteran leadership and making plays will be, in my opinion, the deciding factor for Steve. He can still win it based on him being the oldest and being there and all that good stuff. But to last the whole season where we're riding him into the playoffs is going to require him making big plays in practice and not just doing what is on the sheet. We know you can do what's necessary, but if those guys are doing what's necessary, then your talent isn't going to stand above. You got to be almost just the guy that you can't take off the field because you never know when he's going to make a play, and you're relying on that because that's the little magic you need when it's like, okay, running game shut down, where else are we going to go with the ball? And when you got that magic that you can make a big play and not just be checked down Charlie, I think that's where Steve can grow his game, but also give more confidence to the coaching staff. I think everybody on the team respects Steve's ability to win the easy ones. And I'm not saying any game is easy, but if we're matched up against Idaho State, people feel pretty good Steve can go in there and win that game. So Steve's doing what is standard and customary. I think it can win him the job if we're playing it safe, but I don't think that's going to make it clear cut and lasting through the season because he'll get, burnt out because it's going to take a little bit of talent when everybody gets tired. So I do think that if all the other things go wrong, Steve's a good choice. Injuries to other guys or guys aren't up to speed just yet, or Marcus Freeman doesn't feel 100% confident, you can always go to Steve. So that's the great constant that we have this year is that when in doubt, Steve can at least hold the fort up until we find that home run Barry Bonds guy.
So you say he needs to do some things that he's not known for. Give me two specific things that you feel like you need to see improvement in from Steve Angeli in order for him to win the competition.
I think one of the things is Steve's playmaking down the field is consistency. If he's may not be the greatest or prettiest thrower of the football, if he's hitting some clutch, situational, big plays, showing the consistency down the field, giving guys the chances that we haven't seen last year, just capitalizing on in moments, not necessarily going out there and throwing it deep every practice, but in the moments where everybody's expecting you to hit the 5-yard out because that's what's on the play sheet. Are you going to do that? The other thing I think is for him to show just a little bit more mobility. If we're talking pure physical, just a little bit more mobility, getting yards with his feet, not hesitating. I think his mastery of looking the most comfortable is going to be his way of being his route to success. Is if he's just out there looking comfortable. No call is too big, no down is too hard to get. He's giving the team a chance. Those are the sort of things that Steve can do to really separate himself. And some of that's talent, and a lot of that is confidence. If he's in there folding to the pressure of younger guys in the room, I think that's just all bad. But if he's leading everything and really got a different energy about him, the thing about Steve that people outside looking at may think he's just going with the flow. I think if he adds a little fire to his game, and play with a sense of urgency, I think that's something of what DENBROCK likes anyway. A guy that can got a little temperament to him on the field where it's not just, okay, we're going to put you in to ease all tides. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's be excited about scoring 40 points. So if that would be my advice to Steve. And then, because you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. You, in this situation, in this team, if you start all 16 or 15, 13 games, you can put yourself in position to get to the next level in some capacity. And you can really do well because you have a great offensive coordinator, a great run game, good offensive line. It really comes down to, are you going to take the team to the next level by, in the stat category, making big plays, getting guys in the flow of things. So that opportunity that you have, you can capture that starting role. You can write your own script, which I think will be better than Riley and Sam's 1 year, just because, the storyline and your maturation at one place and these guys know you. Maybe you get more production out of guys that are comfortable 2-3 years in with you. So I think that's what he has going for him. And at the same time, you can't go out there and hesitate. You can't go out there and look like you're taking a step back, or you being in there more consistently got you playing worse, that sort of speak. So Steve has everything to gain and nothing to lose because, hey, you don't want to spend a year with a younger guy playing in front of you and they keep doing this to you because that's just going to spiral out of control for you.
There was the movie Love and Basketball when Cedric gets hurt, twists her ankle, and Monica comes in and takes her spot. And she's like, "Yeah, don't let the next freshman come in and take your spot.
Don't let it happen to you. You know what I mean? It's not that they're necessarily pushing the guy over you, but if you do what you're supposed to do and add a little flavor and sauce to it, because you are the oldest in the room, you do know what's going on more than anybody. You gotta use that to your advantage. The cards are in your favor. And even with that and how the team's set up, you can really take off. It ain't like you trying to win a spot on an average team. Like, you can be on a spot with a good team and then make something of it and be because of you. So it really can be everything you was looking for these last 2-3 years when you got overshadowed.
All right. Kenny Minchie will win the quarterback battle if
I think he's got to show why physically he's different than the other two and do it on the field consistently. You got to look the prettiest throwing, be more accurate, use your feet more than the other guys, but in a efficient way. Look like the hard to stop talent that I think separates him from the other two, where, you take away he's not throwing it well, but he's running well. He's not running well, but he's throwing it well. I think if he always has an answer and he's just like Steve has that energy to him where he's demanding the position, and that just means more of like you act like the job is yours, which comes with confidence. You're not going in there tiptoeing around starting and head spinning like you don't know what's going on. Even if you get caught on something or you don't do something right or make a mistake, it's just the way you make the mistake and how you bounce back from it is all about giving confidence to the coaching staffs who, in my opinion, think that all even, we're going to rock with Steve. But if Kenny does something to show, okay, we know he can throw really well, we know he's mobile, if he's doing that at a maximum, if he's a two-way player, if he's 3 and D, then that's going to then we like that. We want to put that in the starting. That ultimately is what I think fits DENBROCK the best, when he can just call a quarterback draw on 3rd and 11 and have faith that we can actually get it and not just use it for punt position. Last 3 years, we've been using it for punt position. A guy like Kenny who can threaten you down the field running four guys vertically, but also calling the same play but making it a draw, and he can pick up 11 because he's shifty and big enough and moving his feet. Now that's in line with what DENBROCK came from and has so much success at LSU with Jaden Daniels. So I think Denbrock will probably be most comfortable with Kenny if he's in line of that. But hell, asking for Jaden Daniels is a great thing. I mean, at worst, you get a Heisman. At best, you're on a championship team with a better team. So that's the upside for Kenny, obviously. Now, his understanding and his consistency, I think, is going to be the thing where if you had to make it all even, you would take Steve, because the consistency that you would get, if it's not shown in practice on a daily, that's the biggest confidence knocker downer, if you could say, of what a coach would look like for a starter. Oh, okay, he's good some days, he's cold some days, hot some days, you got to get on him some days. If that's the case, then it's like the talents won't be good enough to trust rolling out there over a guy where, he can run the practice if we ask him to. Now, I'm not saying Steve can do that. I'm just giving him the credit of, because he's been there. But for a guy like Steve, a guy like Kenny, be the refreshest guy in the room. But yeah, we got some talent, but that guy Kenny got something a little different. And he has the ability to possibly do that. It's just got to show on a consistent basis. And I think if he's able to do that, he can write his ticket, and then they would feel confident to be like, okay, yeah, they can both win games, but Kenny offers us something that Steve just can't do. I think you're on mute.
Now, what do you say to people, fans, media, Notre Dame media, that have put a narrative out, really nothing factual, nothing to stand behind it? Kenny has to show that he wants it. We've been hearing that Kenny doesn't really want it. You've been in that room. What does it mean when you hear things like that? He has to show if he wants it. We don't know if he really wants it, because he's a very quiet kid. He's a very quiet kid to himself.
Yeah, he just
in the quarterback room. He's not isolated from the other quarterbacks because they love each other.
Oh, I think the whole room is kind of like that, though. Everybody's kind of like very even keel guys. They probably are, most definitely are probably competitive, but it's in a respectful way. You're not gonna get these guys acting out of character in this competition openly, or they may.
I would like a little spice. I'll be honest with you, love.
I want a little spice. I would like.
I want a little LeBron Stephen A. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want a little LeBron Stephen A.
I believe that's how it should. If I was Gino and I was a quarterback coach, that's how I would make the environment. I would make it a little chill. Because I mean, think about it, man. You need that. All the even keel stuff is great, but none of them is played before. So it's like, don't go in there acting like you got all this experience and you just, now give me some. I'm not saying this specifically for Kenny, but even for Steve, give me some, man, where have you been all my life? Give me some of that. Like, man, it's just refreshing. Because, also with the quarterback being important this year, it's a personality. We have a bunch of really upstanding, go to church on Sunday guys where nobody is bigger than the team. It's all blah, 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 blah. It's all great. But give me, let the quarterback be, okay, that's that dude. Give me some aura. Because Marcus Freeman is sucking up all the aura right now. Let's just be honest. It's like Marcus Freeman and the Freeman X.
The oil is running. The oil runs on the man. The man has the anointing left. He has the anointing left. And you can't be mad. The oil runs on him left. You can't be mad at that.
You put a dating guy in there. It's just what it is.
Oh, I walk right into that one. I walk right into that one.
Oh my God. He's going to suck the air out the room. However, at the same time, you need that to be in your quarterback as well, in some respect. Even the guy I feel like solely and personally and really, really believe this. The three guys that put Arizona State in any contention of anything was the head coach, the quarterback, and Scotty.
Yeah.
The quarterback is like, man, I'm better than Ewing.
Yeah.
And for a lot of the game, I didn't really see it until the end. I said, he might make a case. But he told you. He said, I'm a freshman, but I'm better than him. I've always wanted to play him.
He was talking cash money before the game. Talking cash money.
I solely believe that because he was like that, the team believed it.
And
then you got Scatterbo in there.
That's a good point.
And then you got Kenny Dillingham crazy self. Okay, now this team may be average, but they don't believe they average.
They're not scared.
They are not. They was like Texas lucky to be. We had to buy. What you mean? They came to play us. You know what I mean? So I think that.
And so what if we don't have our best wide receiver? Don't
so
make a difference.
I'm still running around, throwing it deep, taking chances. Like, now is he the most technically? Who cares? You know, that's when the who cares. Your personality in the game is so strong. Who cares if you won't do a 3-step? Because at some point you're gonna turn up, and that's what we need from. Yeah, Kenny, this is just not the time in Notre Dame quarterback era to be cool. Don't be too cool. You know, the generate. You know, I got these kids over at the middle school. They too cool. How you too cool for recess? You in 6th grade. Just last year in 5th grade, you was running around here playing tag, getting dirty. Now 6th grade, you want to wear your book bag all day, wear big old sweatshirts and sweatpants all day. It's hot as hell, and you want to just move like a buffalo, just little spot over here. Like, you know, you was just playing dodgeball Foursquare. Just like that, you too cool? Okay, but don't be too cool. Kenny Minchie just got to grasp the personality of being the leader of the football team in a I hate to say more expressive way. We don't want him to be the Baker Mayfield, but characters like that are memorable. And I think that's just where Notre Dame quarterback is existing right now. We need a memorable guy. We don't need a guy to fill a position. Now, we can make you falsely memorable because we're going to boost the hell out of you, but we need a memorable guy in the position right now. And that's going to be memorable as in recruits are not going to be like, hey, I need to wait a year because this guy is not what I see myself doing. We need the guy that's like, man, if he's looking like that, then I'm going to look like that. No different than Tennessee. You get Josh Dobbs in there, then you get Hendon Hooker, then you get Joe Milton, and now you get Nico Emerson. So they see themselves in that offense. Right now, you're getting a type of guy we don't have a type of guy in the room. We got guys. Tennessee got a type. You gotta be like 6'5", throw it 80 yards deep, and that's your game. Be big as hell, then run around a little bit. They built a type. You know what they're recruiting. What is Notre Dame recruiting? What's the type of? You have 3 different types. You don't have a type. Ohio State, what's your type? You gotta be able to throw the hell out the football. You don't gotta be super athletic, but you gotta be able to throw the hell out that rock. Make big plays. It's a type. So, that becomes the bottom line, which I think which is big for Marcus Freeman, why that personality is big, because now Marcus Freeman needs to shed some of that on his team. He can't ride to the championship the same way he did last year, where he's just Obama his way through the whole thing. He got to turn around and he had to Obama his way through an NIU loss. Had to take all that heat. He probably like, I'm tired of taking heat. I need to blame some stuff on this quarterback. I need to pass this thing around now. But it only comes when you have a player that's worth it, is what I'm saying. And so that's why the quarterback has to be memorable. We need it. We're starving for it because, you don't even give Ian the respect that he deserves of being the winningest quarterback of all time. That should be.
You tell me what respect he deserves. What respect should I give to Ian Book? What respect should I give to Ian Book? Give me, other than Clemson, give me the big game that Ian Book won. Give me the game that dictates to me that I should give Ian Book all of this respect.
That wasn't my voice. I'm just saying.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
The point is that you have to be memorable, right? You can't be memorable throwing for under 3,000 yards.
Tony Rice literally beat 5 teams in the top 15 in 1988.
You see, that's why
memorable.
Why we talk about it.
It's memorable.
memorable. If you ain't memorable, that's not what is going. I think that's what's going to make the decision. I think hard is that all these guys can win with this type of schedule, but who's going to be the guy that people are tuning into? I think an entertainment factor plays into it. It should. Like Brian Kelly got a decision on his hands. I'm playing the number 8 kid, the one that's like, I'll try out quarterback this year. Brian Kelly. I'm playing that kid. He had like 5 million yards in high school. He only but 5'9". You need some of that. Shake it up, Kelly. That's just my advice down to him.
Let's see, but Kenny didn't get that second half of USC opportunity like another 8 got.
See, it's all good because his situation is different because it's wide open.
Facts.
It's wide open. Anybody can win it. I had to get that. I mean, come on, they couldn't. Come on, man. My first play ever, I almost scored a touchdown. At what point? That was the first game. I didn't get a chance. You know what I'm saying? So that was just things had to be done then. This is like, man, who wants it? I think it's not a question for Kenny. It's a question for all 3 of them.
Who was that got wait a minute, was that Andrew Hendricks on his first play that got caught from behind because he ran out of gas?
So you can't have moments like that. And that's the thing. So I think it is bigger than just who can go out there and play more consistently. This is just on a higher level of want. We want a guy that's memorable. The guy that, it's not just, oh, here we go, hunky-dory, such and such, go in there, throw a basic 200 for a touchdown, and, we scored 28 points. No, that's not. It's because that's not what college football is. Because I guarantee you, DJ Lagway is going to be putting up points. Nico Imavalita is going to be putting up points. They got, the way they boosting up Michigan, they're going to dominate the whole college football landscape. So I think that if you want to be in the in crowd, got to have a quarterback that's putting up numbers.
Lucky Lefty podcast. And last but not least, CJ Carr will win the quarterback competition if, now I know most people in the media would probably just say show up. But
I think somebody would have to get hurt, and then the next guy would just have to be so average to where it's like, okay, we have to activate him. So I don't think he needs to worry about ever having to win anything in terms of a battle. I just think it's a matter of when is he ready to go out there and play. And his judgment is going to be based on what he can do in big games. Because, I think he's talented enough and he'll play around good enough players with the schedule we have to win the games that we're supposed to win because he is a football player. He's a guy that knows how the game is played, knows how this is going. And I think he can eat off of the success of a team that's well built. So I see him being the guy you don't want to lose the job to ahead of time. So you better be on your ish. Because once he's in place, I think it's, he going to ride it until he's tired of it or go to the league. So it's one of those things of like, you have to play your A game all the time. If you're everybody, not CJ, because like we talked about earlier, whatever CJ does is going to be amplified times 2. So if CJ throw 2 touchdowns in the spring game, Kenny has to throw 4. That's like the math of what I'm trying to say. Kenny throws 4. Then they'll talk about Kenny. If Kenny go in there and throw 2 or 3 and CJ throw 2, he will not get talked about. So I'm just letting everybody know how these numbers and this math is going to play out for everybody else. Now, if Steve throws 2, if CJ throws 2, they'll be like, well, why is CJ not the backup? You know what I mean? So CJ can't lose in this situation. I think he has too much of the machine behind him to lose. It's just a matter of like I said, the math. Kenny got to have his math right. If you're going into practice and you 85%, then if CJ is 70%, Kenny, you're gonna have to be in the 80s. Just gonna have to. Just now, that's a good thing, because you want to be able to be consistent at a high level and play so good you're not worried about it, which is what we want. That's what we want to happen. But at the same time, you battling more than just the guy in the jersey. So that's the situation. However, you're a year ahead, so that you're in a good spot. They can't totally do you dirty. But it is good for CJ to be in this position because he has everything in front of him, and his whole thing is about staying healthy. And then when he gets in big games, can he make the play? It's like the Matt Ryan thing. Matt Ryan was great. It was hard to say anything bad about him, except he didn't win no championship because big games, he didn't win it. So, that'll save a coach a nice 3 or 4 years on his contract with a guy like CJ, because you're going to win games and get close and think you're about to do it and then end up losing or something. But you're going to be around. You're going to be in the conversation. So, I think that's the upside for CJ. The downside is if he just, gets too comfortable and just likes the numbers that he can get and not the wins, and got bought too many Lambos. He don't know which one to drive to practice, so he's late. Because the NIL gonna be booming. So stupid stuff like that. Maybe if he was, I don't know. I feel like he kind of got his path kind of set. He just got to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I was on IB the other day, Left, and the phrase "his to lose." And I was like, see, I don't know what everybody else thinks about the term "his to lose," but when you tell me it's somebody's job to lose, that means they have it in hand.
Yeah, like they
that is the implication. Like they have it in hand.
It's his job to lose. If we're talking about being fair, now nothing's fair, but if we, if you had to guesstimate, it's Steve's to lose out of respect to what he's actually done. You're talking about it's CJ's to lose, and he is dealing with an injury. He couldn't even throw the last 6 months, hadn't thrown. So it's like, what a spring game is telling you that? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what I said. He threw 1 touchdown. If Kenny threw 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, now it's Kenny's to lose. But they, that's why I said CJ can't lose in this situation. You with an injury can't throw 6 months. They talking about yours to lose. You ain't take 1 snap from the championship season. Come on, man. How? The guy from Georgia at least played in the playoff game where they like, oh, we feel good about him next year, and he's scared that Carson Beck away.
Yeah,
he's scared Carson Beck away. They played decently well, CJ didn't touch a football, wasn't even close to the game plan or nothing. And it's his to lose that fast? Golly, y'all boys crack. Y'all, they want it. They want it too bad for me, Sean.
Look, Les, for me,
they too thirsty for it.
I didn't say that the coaching staff doesn't have a preference of who they might want to win the job. I'm not saying the offensive coordinator or even the players on offense don't have preferences of who they want to win the job. But this is my point. The phrase infers that someone has the job or has done enough to procure possession or possess that particular job, and it has to be taken away. That is not the case. The only person that has done anything in a game to give any reason to feel like that is Steve Angeli. And that's why I said we can talk about, because it's totally different to say the coaching staff might prefer big picture that this individual win the starting job. That's a totally different thing than it's somebody's job to lose. That because that phrase doesn't fit Because if you say that, then you can't say this is going to be an open competition. Right. That's not a fair competition.
Riley Leonard, it was
his job to lose.
He wasn't. It was even
in the spring. It was Riley Leonard's job to lose. It was Sam Hartman's job to lose.
And Sam didn't play in the spring. That's when you throw it out there. When you know,
yes.
All right, we bought this dude. It's his job to lose. That
if CJ doesn't practice, so he's not in the same position. That's my point, Left. That's why you shouldn't use that phrase.
They use it because they want that to happen. It's like, journalists ain't journalists no more. They opinion-based, paid-for writers in some aspects. So when they want the narrative, they're like, listen, they said, man, listen, that Brady Quinn jersey getting old, Sean. It's passing through the halls of time to where we need to re-up. That's just what it is. We need to re-up. That, when Drew Pond showed his jersey with Brady Quinn on there, that aged it. That boosted it another 10 years. So now it feels kind of like
he dirt on 10.
So now it's like, okay, no. Now the guys growing up are wearing what jersey? Because the guys that grew up wore Brady jersey already. That's a 20-year aesthetic. We need a new aesthetic.
Okay, let me stop. Because
we need a new aesthetic.
Because people look.
And that's fine.
Jason Magyar says, I'm sure they will go Steve, but they should be Kenny or CJ. Then he says the best player should play not because of time on the team. Now, look, let me go back to one of your previous comments. Let me bring it up. Okay. When you say CJ looked the best last spring, based upon what? Spring game? This is what I'm talking about, Left. So you're telling me that CJ looked the best, but he was fourth on the depth chart. We gotta stop, man.
Confirmation bias, sir.
The worst practice to watch is the spring game. That is the worst. If you're evaluating everything based upon the spring game, if anyone reported, I have not heard of this, so if anyone reported that CJ Carr was the best looking quarterback last spring, I would tell you right now on this show that they are major cap. Major cap. Did he have a moment or two just because indie media put out some clips? That is not the core of practice.
The same indie media, remember, and remind you, that put out all them clips of receivers catching on Ben Morrison, and Ben Morrison said, wait a minute.
And the next practice, Ben Morrison locked everybody up. Remember that, Left? For like 2 straight days, they just showed Ben Morrison getting cooked.
Oh, getting cooked. Just getting cooked.
And then the next day, I'm in there watching Ben Morrison take everybody.
I saw what you was doing.
Too.
I saw how y'all tried to.
Next, like Ben, it's your I'm staying on the field.
Y'all like to be slick on Indy.
Y'all out here showing these clips, making people think I'm slipping. Okay. Exactly.
Now I gotta show you a highlight.
You can't get caught up in clips that are posted. You can't get caught up in the blue and gold game. The scrimmage before the blue and gold game, which fans don't get to see, only media gets to see, is the creme de la creme of practices that you want to see. That's when cats really scrap it out.
They trying to get position.
And practices leading up to that are even more important. We gotta relax, man.
We believe
you gotta relax. I'm not saying you should get excited about whatever they post. I'm just saying don't let it lead you down the road to making
depth chart decisions.
Yes. Because remember, I said before 2 years ago, people were reporting that Drew Pine won the quarterback competition over Tyler Buckner. And I'm sitting here like, I have no clue what practices they were watching. None. There's no way. No way.
Something so bad, you're gonna find your brain finds ways to make it happen. He throw one touchdown. See, that's all you needed. See, I told you. Wait a minute. That's
Look,
like
man.
you guys in Chicago, man. You guys think Michael Jordan them 6 years was good, but I mean, it's not 21. I mean, you talking about a guy that's climbed Mount Everest, 50,000 points.
First of all, I don't know what detour you just took because it had zero to do with the quarterback competition.
I'm saying the quarterback in the league, man.
I know Michael Jordan never got shut down by Deshaun Stevenson in the finals. I know that. I know that.
You talking about the ATM in the
I know Jason Terry didn't walk into Michael Jordan Stadium and tell him he was sending him home and end the series in his stadium.
The same Jason Terry he got back in Boston that he put a poster on in Boston. Some of that guy, that Jason Terry.
Okay. I don't care about that. All I know is Jason Terry told him he was going to cook him in the fourth and cooked him. Find me the player that told Michael Jordan he was going to cook him, or Kobe, that they're going to cook you in the finals, and it happened. Exactly. Matter of fact, show me the game that Kobe and Mike scored 10 points in the NBA Finals. Go find it. Go find it. Go find the game.
Such a specific
thing. Go find the game where Michael Jordan scored 10 points in the NBA Finals or Kobe Bryant.
I gotta get you a lot of tape.
Go find it. Go find it. Go find it. When you
a lot of tape.
Hey, you remember?
Back to you in 2
LeBron James is the Mario Crystal Ball of the NBA Finals. Let me know when he gets above 500. Let me know when he gets above 500 in the NBA Finals. Let me know.
Now that's disrespectful.
Let me know. Is he above 500 in the NBA Finals?
He's above 40,000 points. Matter of fact, he's above 50,000.
Is he? See, stop avoiding the question.
What?
Is he the Mario Crystal Ball of the NBA Finals? He is sub 500.
Then it's Bill. We'll talk about Bill Russell.
Let me ask you a question.
Bill Russell has 11 championships. Michael Jordan needs to sit down, man.
Who has a better chance of winning the 5th championship this year?
LeBron James.
No, Steph Curry. Easily.
Oh, my God.
Easily.
You think the 7th place Warriors?
Check your stats. You need to check your stats.
Oh, what are they? 6 now?
What are the Lakers now? What are the Lakers now?
3?
No, they're 5th. They're 5th. Get your facts straight. I tell you, I'm the basketball dude on the show. You're the football guy.
Like LeBron always says,
I'm the basketball dude. You're the football guy.
5th, 8th, it don't matter. We still going to playoffs. So
that's good. That's good. Enjoy being 5th.
Yeah.
Enjoy being 5th.
It's easy money. LeBron said he just needs to be in.
I know.
He just needs to be in.
I know.
Because he's been to the finals more than the Pelicans as an organization. He has more points than the whole organization.
Has he won half?
One half. He's got 4.
Has he won half of his finals?
And he's got robbed of 4.
Has he
MVPs.
won
Let's talk about
half of his finals?
He's got robbed of 4 MVPs.
Has he won half of his finals?
He's got 4 finals.
Has he won half of his finals?
What does that have to do with anything?
When was the last championship he won, Left?
2020.
The bubble?
Yeah, 2020.
That's 5 years.
So when he wins one at 40,
that
means
he
he's won more than 20, 30, and 40.
Interesting stat they put up yesterday. Homegrown NBA championships. How many does LeBron have? Homegrown.
1.
That's it. Mike got 6. Kobe got 5. Magic got 5. Kareem got 2.
Time out. The organization has never won one?
It doesn't make a difference. They might win one this year. They might win one this year.
They have no superstar.
You do know. Wait. Will you admit if the Cavs win one this year, that will damage that argument for LeBron?
Damage? There will only be 2 in the history of the team.
And he'll only have 1. And
LeBron will make LeBron look greater.
So wait a minute.
LeBron get it without a team.
So Donovan Mitchell. Does Donovan Mitchell have more help than LeBron did in Cleveland?
Yes.
Lucky Lefty podcast, ladies
yes.
and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, this is when I cut off conversation. Name one player better than Kyrie Irving. Name one. Name one.
You said
Name
more
one.
help. You said
No. Name one player better than Kyrie Irving. Name one player better than Kyrie.
Nobody.
Matter of fact, name one player better than Kevin Love. I'll wait. Name one.
Evan Mobley's pretty good. Donovan Mitchell's pretty
good. I
said
name one. I didn't say pretty good. I said name. No. Donovan Mitchell is the dude. Name one player better than Kevin Love.
This is my point, though. They're not winning
championship. Point. I just killed your point.
They're not winning a championship this year, but it would make LeBron look even greater because the team is better. The Cavs this year, the team is better.
Can you give me a player on the Cavs better than Kyrie and Kevin Love? No, I'm waiting.
Not individual players, no.
Okay, then.
But the team is better, though.
No, they're not.
They have to win as a team.
Is not better.
Win a game with Bron and Kyrie.
Bruh, Max Strus is getting ticked.
Because they have a deeper bench.
Max Strus. Shout out to Max Strus, DePaul, Chicago. Shout out to Max Strus. Shout out to Max Strus. Doing your thing out there, Cleveland. Shout out to the boy. You got to stop, man.
Better team. That's why they're like, what? They have the most 14 streak.
First of all, Darius Garland is not better than Kevin Love. What are we talking about, man? What are people? This revisionist history. What are we talking? Man, you need to go check out Kevin Love's first 4 seasons in Minnesota. What are we talking about?
I never said that.
I'm talking about, come on, man. People in the chat. What are we? Oh, my God. Darius Garland's better than Kyrie Irving. What are we talking? Look, man. Come on, man.
No, I can't do that.
Darius Garland is not. He's cold. He's not better than Kevin Love. Go look at Kevin Love's first 4 seasons in Minnesota with no help. What are we talking about, man? Oh, dude. Good gracious, man.
They wild out on that one. That's all I had to. But as a unit, as all 15 players, they are a better team than the top heavy Cavs when they won championship.
Darius Garland is not better than Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving. It's not even close. I have no clue what people are talking about, bro.
You talking about it's not even close, Sean? That's crazy.
It's not left. If you take everything on that team, take Donovan and Evan Mobley away, what does Darius Garland do? I guarantee you they in the lottery.
They're not great as an individual to be a champion.
But we're talking about individual players.
It takes individual superstars to win a championship. That's why the Cavs won't win one. That's all I was saying.
So he is averaging 21 points a game.
Who?
Darius Garland.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bronny. I'm like, yeah.
Man, here we go.
That sounded familiar when you said 20. I said, wait, that sound like okay. Darius Garland nice.
He is nice, bro.
But he's not Kyrie though.
Nah, bro. He's definitely not Kyrie. I don't think anybody was going to that extent. Left.
That's how Notre Dame was built last year, like the Cavs. Just a bunch
of rooks, 11-10, 14-11, 2015, 26-13, 19-14, 26-13. That's what Kevin Love did for 4 straight years in Minnesota. Man, y'all better stop playing with me. This man put up a double-double for 4 consecutive years as the only option in Minnesota. And we send it, man, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, man. We come back left. Man, let's get to these recruits. The top 3 quarterbacks coming to campus March 21st. We're going to allow Left. Left is going to tell you who he likes the best, man. We do how we do on this show. We spin it different. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We'll be right back. Come on, man. Darius Garland better than Kevin Love.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lefty Podcast, MALIK, ZAIRE, SHAUN Davis. Happy you guys tapped in with us on this Saturday. It's beautiful in the Midwest. Had some storms last night, left yesterday. Let me tell you something, man, before we get to these 27 quarterbacks that'll be on campus March 21st and 27th. No, March 21st and 19th, I believe. I left here yesterday, love. Headed out to meet my cousins for a nice dinner. It was 70 degrees in Chicago. Beautiful weather. Was headed out to the Oak Brook area for a nice dinner. It's this spot called Poorhouse out in Oak Brook. Big screen TVs, beautiful deck. Just gonna sit out there, chill, watch a little March Madness. Enjoy the family. Pull up to the Shell station about 2 minutes from my house left. Hop out the car like I always do. Man, bam. Speed pass. Put the gas pump in the tank. Fill it up. Put it back. Go to get in the car left. My door won't open. Keys are in the middle of the car. Phone in the middle of the car left. Can't get the door open. I am literally locked out the car, bro. I'm locked, and I'm like, how? I do this all the time, bro. I hop out, gas up the car, gas up the whip, hop right back in, bam, I'm gone. Couldn't figure out what was going on, bro. Mrs. Nowhere, bro. Way up north. Right? I don't have my phone, so I can't call her. So now I'm stuck in the gas station, not trying to look like the weird dude, right? Not trying to look like the mad bomber. I'm just trying to get in my car, bro. So I can't walk up on females and ask them to use their phone. I have to sit back and wait for a gentleman that actually looks like they would be inviting to allowing me to use their phone. So now I'm picking and choosing, bro. And I'm looking weird. I'm looking weird the entire time. And then I'm overthinking it, bro. I'm overthinking it. Do I need to lean on the front of my car so people don't have to like look at me as they drive up, questioning who is this dude? Why is he standing here? Do I lean on the back of my car? Do I lean on the side? I keep switching positions. I'm weird. I'm walking inside. Man, I missed the pay phones at the gas station. Yesterday, I was like, yo, can I just get one pay phone? One pay phone at the gas station for situations just like this, left. Situations just like this, right? Because me, I don't know about you. I know phone numbers. I actually know my entire family's phone number. Yeah, I just don't hit the contact. I know all of their numbers by heart. So I just needed a phone. Bro, I used like 3 different people and call. This didn't pick up. Leave a voicemail. I stand there for the first 45 minutes hoping that she got the voicemail. See another gentleman like, yo, sir, can I use your phone? This gentleman is like, what's the number? I'm like, dude, I ain't even mad at you right now. Like,
I ain't mad at you.
If you think I'm spamming, are you feeling dangerous? Are you whatever, dude? Like literally, I have a t-shirt on with some jeans. Like I don't know how I'm looking dangerous, but hey, it is what it is. Protect your neck, as Wu-Tang would say. Phone call and text message, right? Third person finally called back. This is picks up. Like I'm up north, a long way away. This, that, and other. Like, man, don't worry about it. Get off the phone. I immediately called my mom. Guy was super nice. Called my mom at the same time. A guy pulls up in his van. He's a locksmith, but he doesn't have the pole long enough. He has the equipment to get in between my door, but he doesn't have a long enough pole to actually reach the doorknob to unlock it. You know, unfortunately, he couldn't help. So now my mom, she hit, you know, I guess my wife had called my brother as well. My mom calls my brother. They're on the way. And then, you know, I ended up calling AAA. So I spent, ladies and gentlemen, no lie, I spent 2 hours and 55 minutes standing in the gas station because I locked my, I still have no clue why my car locked me out. Keys were right there on the center dash, right there. Phone right there, plugged in. Couldn't get in. It was absolutely crazy. Absolutely just one of the worst days ever. Just wasted a beautiful 70-degree day. Have no clue, man. Have no clue why, but it's too. Man. And we always give like the third spare till my mom left, and my mom couldn't find the spare. She's like, I can't find it. You know, but thank God for AAA. Thank God for AAA. It was one of those days, man. It was one of those days. Garland Doxy, thank you. SD, I'm locked in Monday to watch Ari put BTA. What a battle. Hey, man, I'm super excited. Ari Camille, go follow her on YouTube. She's dropping snippets of her album on her upcoming EP consistently. She also has a series that she drops every other day, just conversations and backstories from the ongoing Voice. She's on The Voice season 27. She'll be on this episode that's coming up, battling an incredible young man named Bryson. Really cool dude, great vocalist, great young man. It's a great battle. They dropped a snippet. The Voice actually dropped a snippet of the battle. That's how great they thought the battle was. They dropped almost like a minute-long snippet of the battle just to tease it. So I posted it on my Instagram story over at SD2 Mics. So watch that Monday night. Go to our YouTube, Ari Camille. Subscribe to our YouTube.
How are you feel? Wait, so is the show over or is not over? Are we living in the current? Like, are these live or are we?
Oh, she's still rehearsing and all that stuff.
Okay, so do you go to the? Are you done going to the shows?
Oh, I'm done.
Parents,
parents don't.
Okay.
I think the parents go like to the very last show, maybe like something like that.
Okay. So you went for just the prelim stuff. Now they took her away.
Yeah, I don't do. We out here like reading scripts and like building a career, bro. I don't have time. I don't have time to be going to California to sit in the audience. Nah.
SD Records got too much on the plate.
She's good. She's good.
Yeah.
She's good, man. She's good. It's her time.
That's right.
It's her time. I'm gonna let her have her time. Ben Gutierrez, what's up, LL? Listening while getting ready for the wifey's birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Gutierrez. And gonna get lit. Oh man, Ben, what you guys drinking on? He said they're gonna get lit. You gotta have some ONORA with you.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
We'll start selling it in the Lucky Lefty store soon enough.
GTB questions, put them in the chat now. Super chats, we welcome them. We get to them immediately. Oh yeah, the Wu-Tang concert is coming up. That's right. Springs ND08 said, just got my tickets to the Wu-Tang show in Phoenix. The whole group together, that's absolutely amazing. Left, you were talking about, you were asking me about Playboy Cardi before we started the show.
Gotta check it out, SD.
Nah, bro. I'm good, bro.
Don't be afraid to be hit now.
I told you, didn't I just give you an example of this the other day? We just talked about this. Like, it's cool for me to understand the lingo of young people, but I'm not about to use it, bro.
Kendrick was using Chicago lingo.
His family's from Chicago. What are you talking about? People will not do their research. Literally on the album Damn, the last song was literally about his father's relationship with Top and how they met, and how Top literally, while his father was working, stuck up the same store that his father worked in, and how full circle now their relationship through him being at TDE. Literally, he does an entire song about it and talks about his father and mother being from Chicago and moving him and his family to California at I think when he was a toddler. Like, do people listen? Do people listen? Yes, he can talk Chicago because his roots are from Chicago. Yes, he's a Chicago. He's a Chicago Bear. I'm going to go out on a limb, Left, and say that Lil Left is probably going to be a Jaguar/Bengals fan. Because he's going to watch the teams that you watch. And he's going to be a Notre Dame fan because he's going to watch the teams that you watch. I would venture that his father, being a lifetime, a Chicagoan through and through, even when he moved, watched Chicago Bears games, even in California.
Chicago got good turnout on the West. We can find you a bear bar.
It's like, dude, it has nothing to do about he's from the West Side. He talks about Chicago. He literally put out a tweet that Chicago people brought up, talking about him being a Chicago Bears fan back in 2012. It's like people like, we don't claim. Look, I tell you all the time, we claim Michael Jordan professionally. We don't claim him as part of the city.
Oh, okay. So you separated.
But New Yorkers claim him because he was born in Brooklyn.
Interesting.
His family was from Brooklyn until they moved to the Carolinas. So people in New York claim him because of the roots, bruh. I don't care about, dude, I don't care. Nobody's trying to say Chicago raised Kendrick. His mother and father are from Chicago and moved the family to California when Kendrick was young. That's a fact. Now you do whatever you want to do with that fact.
But those are the facts.
Kendrick claimed Chicago. Chicago didn't come after him. He's claiming Chicago or his Chicago roots.
That's what it is.
We didn't tell him to put Chicago in his rhymes. He did it. We didn't tell him to rap about Chicago on Damn. He did it. He's claiming Chicago. So stop being mad when Chicago people say that's what's up about Kendrick claiming Chicago. It's part of his heritage. My daughter's never lived a day inside the Chicago border. Not one day.
Not one day.
But she can claim Chicago like anybody else. You know why?
Oh, so it's
the roots.
It's the parents.
The roots. And she's actually spent considerable time in Chicago. Just because her house wasn't in Chicago doesn't mean she can't claim it. Yes, B-Dub, Kanye is from Atlanta. Yes. Yes. And he talks about it in his music. Yes. He also talks about his time in DC with his dad. Yes. Chicago made him. And ATL and DC should all stand up when Kanye mentions them. Yes.
So Tommy Reese is from Chicago.
I gotta check out where his dad grew up. I gotta check out where his dad grew up. Now, if it's more than likely, no, real talk, more than likely, his father probably born in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Parents moved him out to the suburbs because that's usually the way it happens. That's usually the way it happens. And then, yes, I will call Tommy Reese of Chicago. Absolutely. But see, my boy Jared Payton. I tell my boy Jared Payton, no, you're not from Chicago. Your parents are from Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Your dad moved to Chicago to play football and immediately moved to the suburbs.
So what's the difference between being raised somewhere and being born somewhere?
Okay,
Kendrick wasn't raised.
Okay, if you're born in Chicago, I mean, not Chicago. If you're born in the United States, even if your parents are from somewhere else, you are what? You're a U.S. citizen.
You're born in the United States. Yes.
You're a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So if you're born in the city, you're from the city, bro. I don't care if your family moves when you're at the age of 1. You were born there. Now, where you spend considerable time at, I can't believe we're going down this road. Kendrick spent considerable time in Compton. Compton made him, bro.
Yes, it raised him.
Compton made him and raised him. No one denies that. No one denies that. But his roots and where he was born, where his parents were born, and where they grew up is Chicago. Where are your roots? My roots, my dad was born in Mississippi, bro. He was made in Chicago. So I have Mississippi roots. I can claim Mississippi. I can claim Morton, Jackson, Pelahatchie. I can claim all of those. All of us have something that we can claim from down south. The majority of us in the Midwest, whether it's Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, all of us can claim something that's rooted in the South. That's how it works. It's where you're born, what made you, what raised you, and then you have the right to claim that. That's your heritage. That's it. It's as simple as that. So Tommy Reese, I have to do homework, bro. I don't know where Mr. Reese and the wife, I don't know where the original birthplace is. But like I said, there is no root for my boy Jared Payton in Chicago at all. Not even through his parents. There's no root. His dad is from Jackson, the surrounding area of Jackson, Mississippi. And I believe his mom is from the New Orleans area. So those are his roots. And when he came here, he was strictly suburban. So no, I have to explain to him, you're not from Chicago. You can't claim Chicago, bro. There are no roots for you in Chicago. None. Now, you spent the majority of your life in Dayton?
Yes.
And so the only time you left is when you went to Notre Dame?
Right.
Yes, so you can't, bro. Now, I know you've spent considerable time over the last 5-6 years in LA. You cannot claim LA, bro.
I'm not, I wouldn't.
No.
Yes.
No. 10 years from now, you cannot claim LA.
No.
You could claim the Bend because you played there. It made you the football player you are, the young man that you are. You got a degree from there. You want to claim the Bend a little bit? Go ahead. But I have no problem with you claiming Ohio, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Claim it. Dayton. Claim it, bro. It's your roots. Where your mom and dad from?
Akron and Knoxville.
Wait a minute. Which one's from Akron?
My dad.
That cat, your dad, Jay Reed, bro? Your dad is Jay Reed?
No.
Your dad was Jay Reed from Akron?
No. Okay, we understand it. I think we're getting it.
And that's it, man. That's it. That's it.
I can't claim Jordan other than his professional life. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things you gotta make sure you.
Man, look, let's get to it. So the 3 quarterbacks, and this is about to be fun. Left, if you missed it, you just joined us. Left handicap, the quarterback competition. You can go back and watch it after the show. Lock in. He filled in the blank. Steve Angeli will win the quarterback competition if Kenny Minchie will win the quarterback competition if, and CJ Carr in the same way. He filled in the blank for all 3 guys. He handicapped it. and told you why those guys will win the quarterback competition. He also broke down Mike DENBROCK's offense in 2025, how it would and should develop with these three quarterbacks being the same at the core, but having some small nuances based upon their individual gifts and talents. We've watched Trey Taylor already left. So let's start with MALIK Ziegler, 2027 quarterback, 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Benton, Louisiana, currently sits as a 4-star left. And I actually like this young man left. I think he's extremely talented. I want to find some of his individual games. Shout out to these schools. He actually has, he doesn't have a full 24 season yet. They just cut his up by individual games left, which I don't know if you like that. Did you like that? When you start looking at these clips, instead of having the full season, breaking it down into each game?
I mean, I don't know what it's so hard what these schools looking for. I think the much tape you can put out there, the better, you know.
I guess that's a good point. Doesn't matter how you do it as long as it's good, right?
So you just gotta put good music out there, whether it be a mixtape, an EP, an album, just put it out there.
Man, I'm trying to get the page left. Let's see here.
I don't know if I want to try Harold's, man, after my tough experience, man. They keep repping Chicago so hard in there, and then I go over there and they're not representing the right way, man. Or maybe they just, you know,
I don't know what to tell you.
You get that batter right, man. You gotta get that toss together.
So you gotta get what?
That batter right.
Nothing wrong with the batter, man. But go ahead, talk about. Let's move on from that, because I'm having problems now bringing up the. Yeah, it's not doing it right now. So what we're going to do is go to the visits before we come back to those three kids. Let's talk about it. Coming up, some big names coming in for visits. March 18th, Javion Osborne, big-time running back out of the state of Texas. Messiah Mickens, he just locked in his visit on June the 20th. And before we're going to get to the officials. June 13th and June 20th are 2 days you need to really lock in, ladies and gents. Those are the 2 days you need to really lock in. June 20th and June 23rd. June 20th and June 13th are the 2 big weeks or pick dates for official visits.
That's huge. You know, I think just the more visits, the better the outcome. And Notre Dame spends a lot of money on making sure when you visit is all the spectacle that you think it is when you come up there. Because I think still people have a hard understanding of where it's even at. So for people to come up there for the first time on these visits or have the interest, and you got to battle the weather conditions during the time of the year and have all the resources and things they have, it's a hard job, man. You're selling an experience in And a lot of times people can pick so many bad things to say about it.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty. Then on March 21st, this is the day, or the March 21st through 22nd, you have tight end Ian Primer, 26 class, number one tight end on the board. That's going to be a huge visit to get him back for an official during the summer. But then the 27 class, you have quarterback Peter Burke out of Massachusetts, quarterback Trey Taylor out of the Chicago area, defensive tackle Braden Parks, 27, Jackson Reynolds, 27, linebacker, and then linebacker safety Cooper Witten. Those 5 guys are all top 200 guys in the class of 27. Notre Dame targeting that day, March 21st. March 21st is going to be very important to catapult into the Irish invasion. And Notre Dame, it looks like they're going to have 2 junior camps in the month of June. 2 junior camps in the month of June, which is hard. They're going to have 2 Irish invasions. I think that brings in even more, or invites even more top talent to make sure they can fit, because sometimes guys can't come because doesn't work in their schedule. So having 2 of those events, make sure that you get an eye, or you have an opportunity to see more talented kids in the 26 and 27 class in your camp. Shout out to Notre Dame for doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you got to find ways to get this recruiting done. And I think the more times you can get these top recruited players on campus, I think that counts towards the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that, Left. It's going to be very important to make sure they capitalize on all of these recruits coming in that have not set up official visits. We'll get to the official visits soon. April 2nd, Jazeel Hart. Earlier, I said I was going to give my top 5 guys to get. It's really not the top 5 to get. These are my top 5 players that I love watching their film. And Jazeel Hart is one of those. This kid can do it all. It's rare that you see someone playing defensive back, cornerback, that can play the boundary, that can play the field, that loves playing bump and run, that's very adept at playing off-man coverage, and has great instincts in zone. And when you watch his film, Left, you will see this young man has absolutely fantastic hips. Fantastic hips, Left. Absolutely incredible.
Excited to see this.
Yeah, April 8th, Jonas Walton, 2026 running back, another really big target for Jawan Sider. He'll be coming in April 8th to see if he can get in for an official. April 9th, Landon Sams, 3-star linebacker out of the state of Ohio. Really good kid, liked his film. April 10th, Felix Ojo, 5-star offensive tackle, Left. 5-star offensive tackle for Notre Dame and Joe Rudolph. To get him on campus during the month of April is absolutely huge. Seeing that if they can get him in April, that gives them a chance to get him back for an official. April 11th, cornerback Jalen Hill, class of 2027. April 17th, this is another big one. Getting Elijah Golden on campus again. He visited last year during the season to get him back. 26 kid, he was at IMG. He recently transferred. April 17th, getting him back in. We need to lock him in for an official. Then the first official, starting June 3rd, Dre Quinn out of Georgia. Dre Quinn is a big-time talent at defensive end, top 150 kid, 2026 official on June 3rd. Kari Adams, Nick Reddish, Talanoa Lee, Simeon Caldwell, Tiki Hola, Rodney Dunham, Sullivan Garman, a commit, Ben Nichols, a commit, Tyler Merrill, commit, Evan Goodwin, Gregory Patrick, Caden Finley, Jonas Walton. He's already locked in. I forgot to say that. He's already locked in his official for June 13th, and Noah Grubbs. That is June 13th. That is the biggest group of players for officials. That's why I said June 13th, June 20th will be dates to bookmark to say these are important dates for Notre Dame when it comes to recruiting in 2026. June 20th is just starting to build up. 3 names were added within the last 24 to 48 hours, and I think this date is going to fill up even more, especially after spring visits. June 20th, Messiah Mickens. He just announced his official visit June 20th. Braden Robinson, wide receiver. He'll be here on June 20th, or he'll be in South Bend June 20th. Tight end out of Illinois, J.C. Anderson. He is literally the reincarnation. Oh, man, of what you used to see from the other than Tyler Eifert. He is the prototypical 6'7", 255 long strider, great blocker, Illinois kid, top 10 Illinois player. He'll be here June 20th. Ikene Agboko, South Garner High School, Durham, North Carolina. He's going to come in with his teammate Ebenezer Utade, defensive lineman. They love Utade. Marcus Freeman saw him twice in the open period. He was at junior day. Ikene Agboko was unable to make it, so they'll be back April 5th together on the unofficial, and then they'll come back together once again June 20th. Tank King, man, one of the top 5 linebackers in the nation. His official visit is June 20th. He has a great relationship with the defensive staff, great relationship with Marcus Freeman, and then Aiden Pouncey, a safety. He'll be in June 20th also for his official visit. So Notre Dame is starting to heat up, Left.
Yeah, that's what we love to see. We love to see.
Relax. They're going to start heating up.
Yeah, and that's all we need. We just need enough guys coming in the building, and the experience will take over for itself. But, I mean, playing in the championship last year has to mean something. It goes some length for recruit in their mind. And that should be, I'm not saying enough, but you should want to have in mind how would you say it? The veracity to want to go and finish the job. You're like, oh, you're this close to finishing it. Maybe I need to come and get it done. That was my thought on my visit. I was like, okay, I can be that last piece. If they have everything else you need to get there, then they're recruiting me at this juncture. That means that I can be that last piece. So that's just something they can keep in mind. But the recruiting shouldn't be in worrisome when you have the coach of the year. Marcus Freeman's still winning.
Yeah. I like it. Lucky Lefty podcast. So before we get back to these quarterbacks left, is there anything you want to talk about as far as guys that you think or positions that are the greatest need, in the class?
I wouldn't say greatest need. I just think we need to find that next piece, and continue to find a superstar. I think as long as we don't have that, there's always a need to keep recruiting on a consistent basis of what we're doing. We were able to transform the DB room from worst to first in a lot of cases, and that just comes from the right coaching being in there first, followed up by a great recruiting effort, and then you got to have some development and results by your coach in that unit, and that's where the that's where the receivers are, in my opinion, are right now. They're waiting on that G14 classification to be stamped in that room so they can see where that lineage can start. They can start having repeat first-round guys that have great productivity. There is a space within the offense to have a balanced receiver approach. Jaden Greathouse, in a tough win against Penn State, proved to be pivotal, that we need to be great in that area. Yeah, you can run the football on some teams, not every team consistently. And so Jaden Greathouse showed that you can have that balance, but we need that against every team, not only from him, but just from the threat of the dynamics of where we're changing at the quarterback position. It's not so run dependent. I promise you, no matter which quarterback starts this year, none of them is going to lead the team in rushing. So it just tells you right there that the direction of this offense has to look different. And it starts right there at the quarterback position. All three of these guys are different than what we've had previously, but what we have now can only make the offensive evolution grow under Mike DENBROCK. I'm glad that he has his 3 or 4 years of stacking and building concepts and building a system for guys to fall into, because now in his year 3 or 4 or even 5, now the chips are pushed to the middle of the table, and you gotta produce. And he wants to produce a top 5 offense in the country, preferably number 1, similar to what he would believe when he came in the beginning and said we have a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense. I think he really believes it, and he's proved it before with having certified and special players. But then also, I've had him as a coach. I know exactly how you can get it done. It gives you a proper roadmap for a quarterback to develop and become special within a system that is very simple. At least it was when I was there. And he's showing you the results. So from an ingredient standpoint of how we turn the DBs from worst to first as a unit on the team, the quarterbacks have all the ingredients they can have from going from worst to first. A lot of it stems from having a great offensive coordinator. We get to see this year specifically Gino Guidugli and his role in this offense and on this team coming to fruition. It's coming to the forefront. It's being put in the spotlight, because now we get to see what all that money we paid him for, but also just the curation of having 3 very good quarterbacks that he took his babies and now he put to the next level.
All right. I had to work my magic, dude. I had to work my magic. Now we're ready to go. Malachi Ziegler, junior quarterback, Benton, Louisiana, left. Let's check him out and see what he has to offer. Tell me what you see. That was a Hail Mary pass to start off. You always start out with it's always good to start out with one of those type of highlights. Hail Mary.
He believes in his arm, that's for sure. Not the quickest release. Got a nice touch to the football. I like his technique in the pocket. Plays with some solid pace. He doesn't let the defense necessarily rush his footwork. He kind of stays in that same flows type of pace, and that comes through a lot of reps and confidence, which, it seems like he got. Not overly athletic, get you a nice little 10. He's got some good time. He just looks like a nice quarterback. I mean, is he a world beater? He's maybe a step behind right now. I know he's getting older, but he's very clean in his technique. He can make a little bit. He doesn't look too stiff. I think his sense of urgency would just have to increase a little bit, but he makes some good decisions. I think he's a good young quarterback. Good start. A long way to go.
All right. Those were from his sophomore season. Let's go to a couple of clips from his junior season. As I said before, his full season is not up, but he does have individual games ready for us to look at. And this is going to be versus Leesville High School down in Louisiana. Once again, Malachi Ziegler, he'll be on campus on the 19th. He's from Benton, Louisiana, Benton High School. And these are his clips from this year left. Let's get to it. And tell us what you see. Does he look better? They like to showcase his arm.
Yeah, I mean he's got decent athleticism, nothing crazy.
Release looked like it got a little better from his sophomore year to his junior year.
Yeah, a little slow. Urgency, I would say, is his biggest thing. He's got to improve on. Um, he's not scared, that's for sure. But he's gonna take a chance. He does throw the ball effortlessly. He doesn't look like he's straining to throw the football, which is good. He's just naturally strong kid. But you like him. Can he make enough of good plays to win you a football game? That's something you got to see when he gets on the team. But it's just very solid. You know, I think the best thing he has is that his release is pretty good, and I would just encourage him to get his urgency together, a little bit more fast pace. Um, Not overly athletic, or I mean, just a very solid guy, man. It's good to see.
Next kid we're going to talk about, he'll be on campus March 21st. Peter Bork out of Marion, Massachusetts, Tabor Academy. Tabor Academy. He reminds me, because he's a bigger kid, I'm very interested in seeing who you give as a comp for this young man, because I think he's extremely talented, but he's a playmaker. That's the one thing I like about his film. He just makes plays. Once again, Peter Bork, 2027 quarterback, Tabor Academy, Marion, Massachusetts.
He's a big heave ho kind of guy. I like the fact that he's challenging different aspects of the field. Yeah, he's just one of those quarterbacks that's not gonna give up. He's got a little magic in him.
He does, doesn't he? He has like a little playmaker to him.
Yeah, just a little. In fact, he's gonna do what it takes to play to win the game. He's not. He may not be the prettiest. He's got a little of that. I'll die for my team in him, which is intangibly really good to see. He just plays like he's at recess. I like that quality about quarterbacks, is that they're not trained by some trainer to death, where they're just so robotic that they forget this is a game. So I really like the fact that he's got that playground added to him, to where he's like, I'm playing football. If I got to make a move or do whatever and get right and throw the football and it looks ugly, but I make the like, I think that stands out more than anything else, especially in terms of today, just because of how today it's just been so shifted to these trainers and being technical. Yeah, you're technical to a point, but you got big, fast, strong people running to tackle you, and it's not looking pretty, but you doing what it takes to win. And this is the type of skill set that your teammates can rally behind. They're like, if he ain't gonna do nothing else, he's gonna throw it deep. If he ain't gonna do nothing else, he's gonna run around and find me open. They don't give up on plays because they're like, oh, this check down Charlie's just going, he's not looking my way. You don't know. Anybody might catch the ball playing with him. And I think that's this advantage I like the most. Obviously, you'll clean up some decision making and chance taking and some footwork stuff here and there, but he's that type of guy that's like, game's close and your receiver's running over to you. Hey man, I'm wide open, just throw it to me. He's like, I'm gonna give you a chance, and he throws it in triple coverage, and the guy makes the play. And post game interview, he's like, I just believe in my teammates. That type of dude, that very reminiscent of the Vanderbilt quarterback this year, that just playing off of all inspiration. So That's the type of play that you feel from him. He's not afraid to play anybody. He's gonna give it his best effort. Some winning gene comes with that. I don't know what his winning percentage is like or nothing, but guys that play like this is you feel good about going into that last drive with because he's gonna make something happen. He's just not gonna take a sack. He may blow it, but he may win it. He's gonna he's not afraid of the moment. Maybe this is a guy that we take a chance on because he's a moment type of player. I can just tell he just, dropped the snap, voids the sack, game-winning throw, guy hanging on him, that type of stuff. That's the type of player that I feel like he is. Does he have a strong arm? Yeah, when he needs to. One of those guys. Is he accurate? Maybe not the most accurate, but he's accurate on third down. Those are the type of guys you're excited about. You probably pull your hair out a little bit because he's not throwing the specific play that you want. But he's like, but coach, I saw it open. You're like, all right. Just run the play right next time. He's one of them guys. Which, gets you in trouble sometimes, but this is the type of stuff from an entertainment value you wanna come and watch. I think he can liven up the fan base about the quarterback group because he's got enough player in his game, not so much what he's talking about, but in his game where, I can see them rallying behind this guy and having his niche fan base. He's the type that's going to have that niche fan base that he can't do nothing wrong to some people. And so that's good. I like guys like this. Hopefully we keep recruiting.
Yeah, I like the kid. You said something. I watched this film and I said, it's just something about him. It's just something about him that I like. Like I said, is he the most perfect quarterback?
No.
As far as accuracy,
it's who cares?
Strength,
because
arm strength.
He'll make a play that's accurate, or he'll make the deep pass in the moment.
He'll make the play that's necessary to win the game. He's a winner. He just comes across as a winner. He plays
like a winner. Yeah. He may not be the best arm or the fastest, but damn it, that nobody can do that third down like how he did it. Creativity is there. And that's the biggest thing in this day and age. You got to be creative. You can't just move based off of how you do in these quarterback training groups. If it's a little awkward, if I got to run around and make this play, I'm going to do it. He's the type that's going to put the shoulder down on 4th and 1 where Sam Hartman's not.
It's amazing because when he runs, he reminds me of Riley. Like, it doesn't look like he's moving, but somehow, some way.
He getting that first.
He's avoiding people.
And he's not a crash out. He's not going to try to run you over necessarily, but he's going to run to get it. And then I just like his game. I think this type of game stands out. You'll remember some of these plays just because it just looks different. I like that he looks different. And on top of that, he's got some technique and skill that you can build off of. He's not just out there doing whatever and getting lucky. No, he's got some skill. He knows some football, but he's not moving around like a robot.
6'4", 290, Tabor Academy.
Damn, 290.
No, did I say 290? I'm sorry. 6'4", 190. That's what I meant to say, Left.
I'm sorry. I was bugging. Moving like that at 290.
That was like the new Jared Lorenzen, right? 6'4", 290.
And he moving like that. Recruit him right now. Give him whatever, because now you're talking about someone you can't tackle.
See, I was about to send everybody off. I'm glad you caught me. Like 290.
If he doing that at 290, sign him right now and start him today. Who looking like that at 290? Good
and of course, last but not least, 27 quarterback, Carmel Catholic, Trey Taylor, who will be back on campus. Left, you've seen his highlights before. So when you get done, I'll let you tell me how you rank these guys. Trey's just smooth. Now, he is the prototypical pocket passing, with a little bit of ability to move in the pocket.
He kind of reminds me of a Jaden Daniels. He just looks like a Jaden Daniels back there. I like it. He looks like he has a command of what he's doing. Super in the film room type of kid, gonna know the offense in and out. Likes to play the game within the game. I could kind of see that in him, can make adjustments on a
coach's kid. Grew up
coach,
around the game.
Just really love this type of player. He's just a well-polished, another coach on the field type. You can count on him because he just knows what he's doing. He's clutch in the sense that he knows the game of football, and he's got some talent with that. So this is the probably the more favorable choice. I think the more exciting choice is probably the guy before, because you don't know what you'll get from him. I think you'll know what you'll get from this kid here, but he's on a okay, I can win some premium games with him.
Yeah.
I get him a little bigger, train him up, get him adjusted, comfortable. I can go win the thing with him. The kid before is probably super excited, love to cheer for him, lose against Alabama type. This kid, we curated the right way. We may go undefeated this season, because he's got that mentality and, all the fancy things you need for a quarterback.
Julius Jones, I do not know if he is going to be visiting. I keep tabs on that. Before we get out of here, Springs ND08. I saw an article post online saying Jaden Daniels used VR last year at LSU and brought it with him to Washington for his training. Any possibility Notre Dame adopts the technology as well?
I mean, I think more so than a VR, just the consistency that he had about it and making it count. And just going there, looking at it, got something out of it, added to his game. I just think you just got to find ways to do that when you're in a position like that. So, love to see it, man. I love to see finding any ways to find the advantage.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So we'll be locking in, talking to you guys on Monday. Look forward to practice starting next week. I get a chance to go and watch these guys for the first time. My favorite part is always watching like who got bigger. Like, all right, who's been in the weight room? Like, and then seeing the freshmen that are like, okay, you can go on the field right now. Like, So we'll be talking that. I'll give a report as I drive back from South Bend and post it over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. For Left, SD2 Mics, have a great Saturday. Continue to be blessed, man. But most of all, make sure that you continue to spin it different. We'll holler.